All right, welcome to the Get Optimized podcast, and we are into our CBC preview series where we're going to be joined by special guests that we're actually going to be hanging out with during CBC, so that we can talk about CBC. And today we are joined by Ross from TapWyse. What's up, Ross? How you doing, man?
Hey, Chris, I'm doing well. How about you?
Oh, I'm doing well, man. Hanging in there, getting through it. It's starting to warm up here. The weather's nice, and I'm excited for spring and drinking spring beers and going outside and all these things. So I'm doing well, man.
I'm glad to hear it. We're getting like our first rain of the season in San Diego today. So
Nice.
reverse weather patterns, but it's all good. We need it, man.
Oh yeah, man, for sure. It's finally time to bust out, get rid of the snow, not the snow, but at least here in Vegas, but the jackets and all that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean, Ross, I know you very well. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. We do a lot of fun stuff together. But for those folks that don't know, who's Ross and what the heck is TapWise?
Yeah, thanks, Chris. Yeah, I'm Ross. I'm the co-founder of TapWyse. We're based in Carlsbad, California. I'm doing the thing. I got a wife, two kids, picket fence. No, I don't have a picket fence, but I wish I did. But yeah, it's fun. Two little munchkins, 8, 10, and 9, and it's a lot of energy in the house right now. But on the TapWise side of things. Uh, what we do, if you're not familiar, is we do membership and loyalty and direct messaging software for craft breweries. And we deliver that software to the brewery through custom branded mobile apps. We work with everyone from kind of like top 25 producers like the Trogs of the world out in Pennsylvania to mom and pop and really local family spots like Harry Guys Brewing, one of my favorite names in Jim Thorpe, Pennsylvania, population 3,000, and 8-Bit Brewing in Avon, Arizona. A couple shout outs to my little guys out there.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was just talking about you the other day to someone, and they're like, "Oh yeah, they must only work with the big guys, right?" I was like, "No, actually, it's they all over the spectrum here, and what you guys do is so valuable, and you're able to do it in a really nice way and um, in a really impactful way for breweries. So, glad to be hanging out with you for CBC and doing all this work with you over the last year or so here that we've known each other."
Yeah.
So let's talk about CBC a little bit here. This isn't your first time, right? How many CBCs you've actually gone to?
Yeah, good question. So my first one that I ever went to was Nashville,
Okay, me
two
too. Yeah.
years ago, and it was awesome because it was CBC coupled with a Taylor Swift concert.
Oh yeah, there was a
Uh,
Swifty thing going on there.
so it was a interesting, mix of people around the city at that one, but it was super fun. We didn't exhibit at that one. I just went because I was getting into the industry for the first time, and I just wanted to see what it was like. And I mean, I loved it. I remember it was funny. I walked in, I didn't know anyone. The first person I met was Jeff Mendel from Left Hand Brewing, and he was super nice. And that's not something you get in other industries or anything like that. So that was a really awesome experience. And I just walked the trade show floor and met people at that one. We did exhibit last year for the first time. That was our first one in Las Vegas. Your home, your stomping ground out there.
Vegas, baby.
Yeah. And excited for Indianapolis for sure this year. Number two, second time exhibiting.
Yeah, I mean, considering that second time exhibiting, this will be your third time going to the conference. What's on your mind that you're looking forward to for CBC this year, as opposed to or difference from years before?
So, so let me see how to answer this. So one thing that struck me when I was at my first CBC was how like equipment heavy it was. Right? So like you get a ton of like, brewing tanks and hops and, all of the stuff that is needed to run your brewery ops. And one of the things I thought was, I don't work on that side of things. I work on the marketing and on the, software and like side of things. And it was shocking to me kind of like how little of that there existed at the show. So I mean, I think the industry's kind of reached a point where there's lots of tanks out there. And what we need is now that we can brew the beer, we need to learn how to sell the beer or, work on selling the beer and really becoming great marketers. And so I'm kind of excited. I'm excited that you and Dan took the initiative to kind of put together the CBC Profit Center concept. And I think it's really needed in the industry right now and excited to be part of it for sure.
Yeah, dude. I mean, Dan's done so much of the work. Honestly, he's carrying the heavy lifting, and
Mhm.
I was definitely down to get involved. And because it just seems like the right move, right? Like so many of us that are going to be part of this booth are like in that vein of, hey, we want to help you scale your brewery. There's folks that already have their equipment. They got their tanks, they got their suppliers. It's like, well, they're trying to run this business now, especially in today's climate with the economy being a weird spot,
Yeah,
tariffs, and this kind of weird stuff. It's like, all right, I got to figure out how to efficiently grow this thing so that I can stay in business and live
yeah,
a life that I want to live. And that's what it's about, and that's what you do, and what so many of the partners that are involved in our space are going to be doing. It makes me think too, is like, what are your thoughts on the state of the industry? And so much of that kind of comes out of CBC. There's these great presentations that people give, and each year's got a little bit different vibe to it. But from your perspective, what do you think is going to be the buzz around CBC this year? What trends do you think are going to come out of it? um, yeah, that's the question.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, good question. I mean, I don't pretend to have a crystal ball or anything like that, but
Well, why not? We have all
yeah.
the answers.
Hopefully you're not like scorekeeping this or anything like that.
We'll visit this next
Oh,
year, be like, yeah, so wrong. No.
yeah, yeah, exactly. No, but I think that and this probably isn't anything too revolutionary or anything like that, but I think you're really going to see a focus on tap rooms and kind of what are breweries doing to make sure that they're maximizing their tap rooms and driving because that's where a lot of the margin comes from is selling that beer directly. It's going to get harder and harder with aluminum prices going up and everything like that to make good money in the distribution side. Not that it already hasn't been hard, but focus on tap rooms, experience, maximizing customer value in the tap rooms, I think is something we're going to see and hopefully, get to talk about with people at the show.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, I think you were the one that said this. Was about there not being as much of that. Yeah, I remember one of the conversations we had recently was, you wish there was more of that
Mhm.
kind of stuff. It's like, how do we actually maximize the tap room? How do we grow our revenue? How do we create efficiencies? Because so much of the talk is around, oh, I want to buy cans, I want to buy equipment, whatever. And there needs to
Yeah.
be a stronger voice on the, all right, so I already have this stuff, I'm running my business, how do I run my business better? And
Right, right.
that's important too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, yeah, so I mean, I think that's going to be a focus. And I'm sure there'll be things about like what beverages are selling better and things like that. But I tend to shy away from that because it's way, way above my pay grade.
Yeah, yeah, man, that's stuff that I don't know so much about either. I'm excited, I always find it interesting, like I was just talking to Dan with the Beverage Federation, and he's like, yeah, I think that's going to continue too, is this whole idea about alternative beverages and the
Yeah, yeah.
THC stuff. And last year was all like seltzers and NA and that kind of stuff. um I'd probably see some of that too. I agree with him, and I'm curious your thoughts too. Is the alternative stuff, maybe it's not just even beverages, like how do we sell more out of our space and maximize opportunity there? Do you think so? I think that'll
Yeah,
be
definitely. I mean, I think that'll be a part of it. Obviously, like the cannabis side of things is kind of a big talking point. I'm excited that we've got the perfectly dosed supplier in the CBC Profit Center because yeah, depending on your state and your regulations, that could be a good value add or new revenue stream for people. Um, you
yeah.
know, so definitely, I think that'll be a talking point for sure.
We were just not we I was just writing our newsletter for this month, and in the time of recording this, it's like mid-March, and 420 is coming up in April, and I'm like, man, the
Right.
cannabis stuff, there's that opportunity. If you offer that, then 420 all of a sudden becomes an item on the menu for you to push out. So there's
Yeah,
an opportunity.
part of the event calendar, no doubt.
Yep, it's not just a hippie day or whatever. It's maybe an opportunity for you to try Rev. um Something else I'm curious to ask of you too. I know, you've been a handful of times, right? And there's people that have gone to this expo, many times, 7, 10, more than that probably,
Mhm.
as well. But for somebody who's going for the first time, think back to your first time walking into this thing. What advice would you give that person that's showing up for the first time, and maybe they're a new brewery, or they're planning a brewery, or maybe they've been around for a while, they just haven't gone?
Yeah.
And uh, what advice would you give them?
Yeah, great question. I mean, so what I've found in all of the trade shows, not just the beer trade shows that I've been to, but everything in my past life too, is that the shows tend to be kind of what you make of them. And so if you go and you just go to hang out, then that's what you'll get out of it. What I'd suggest is if you want to go and you want to go and you're serious about your business, then make a plan ahead of time. Figure out who you want to meet with. Reach out to them ahead of time. Let them know. And think about like what do you want to get out of the show ahead of time. That's what I've tried to do. I've been to shows in lots of different ways, and I found that I get the most out of it if I just you don't have to do a ton of work, but just put a little bit of thought into it and spend an hour or two setting up that contact list and reaching out before the show.
Okay, so I'll put you on the spot here a little bit. Um, uh, with that in mind, is there anything you're planning to go seek out at CBC and interactions you're trying to have, or booths
Yeah,
per se?
for me, what I'm really excited about at the show is a lot of our customers I've never met. Because we're a small team here at TapWyse, and we tend to do demos remotely because it's a software product. What's cool about CBC is that you get to actually have face-to-face time with customers. So I'm very much looking forward to that. As kind of like a main one of the big things I'm looking forward to. It's always great to actually meet people. I'm still old school like that.
Totally, man. And now that you bring that up, there's been times that I've met people for the first time at CBC, right? Clients of
Yeah,
ours, where it's like, yeah, we've worked together for a year, 2 years, or whatever, and it's like, oh my god, finally, we see each other in video calls all the time, but it's different to shake hands and grab a beer together and chat, and you get to meet a different side of somebody, a deeper, richer side of somebody,
absolutely.
in that environment. So, cheers to that. I'm with that for sure.
Hmm, hmm.
Um, CBC's in Indianapolis this year. I've never been to Indy. Have you ever been there?
I have, yeah. I went for a trade show in a different industry in a past life. So yeah, but I have been to Indy.
Is there anything you're looking forward to checking out or doing while in Indianapolis?
Actually, it was a really cool city. I liked it a lot. Really clean and friendly. And I remember when I went in the past, they've got a cool river walk kind of
Oh,
area
sweet.
that I spent some time walking around on. And the other thing that's there that was closed when I was there last time, but maybe I'll try to hit up this time, is I think it's the NCAA Hall of Fame. Um,
Yeah, basketball's a big deal in Indy, right?
yeah. Mm. So,
Yeah.
may try to go sneak out for a little bit and get over there for a little bit.
I was just in Kentucky a month ago for the Kentucky Guild of Brewers Conference, and they held it at the Bluegrass Music Hall of Fame, which that's somewhere it's like that's pretty cool. If I was in the area, I'd check it out probably, but it was like in that space, so it was nice to jump out and go check out this like history of bluegrass. They had bluegrass playing the whole time, and that's always fun to kind of soak up that local flavor.
That's
My
awesome.
Yeah, it was really neat.
Do you what I also so I work with Natalie Gula, who's a foodie, and so I'm sure
Yeah,
she's going to pick out a restaurant for us, or hopefully.
I
I
gotta
don't know
find some good food there.
if
Yeah.
you trend that way or not, or if you've got any suggestions there for me.
That's the best stuff to do, right? Is to go find some cool local spot and eat something
Yeah.
that's like, of that area of the country.
Mhm.
I don't know what that is in Indianapolis. I got to find somebody like, what is the thing to get there? Is it, like in the South, you think barbecue, West Coast is kind of like fish tacos and Mexican food, but like, what is that? I don't know what that is, in
Well,
Indianapolis. I
we'll
got to
we'll
figure that
find
out.
out. Looking forward to
We're
it.
gonna figure it out for sure.
Yeah.
Also excited. Indianapolis is kind of like the Indy 500 is part of that,
Oh yeah.
and we're not far from the racetrack. And in fact, my wife is going to make the trip out. Like she's going to fly in at like on that Thursday, and she's going to run a race, and part of the race runs through the track they do the Indy 500 at. So it's going to be cool. That I'm going to stay a couple days and go see that. It's going to be fun.
Nice. That's awesome. You're reminding me, I have a buddy of mine who went to Butler University out there. So I'll give him a shout and see what he recommends we do out there. I know he's been to the India a number of times and he says it's a blast. So should
Nice.
be
Yeah, we got to
fun.
figure it out. I got some friends up there too. We'll figure this out, Ross. If anybody's listening, let us know because we clearly don't know
Absolutely.
shit. We'll figure it out. Okay, let's talk about TapWyse and your guys' booth and what you guys are planning to do. So, what's on the menu for you guys? What are you planning to showcase? Is there anything special that folks are going to experience at your booth?
Yeah, you know, it's been really cool over the past year to see kind of what some of the TapWise customers have done with the apps and the programs that they've run. And so what we will have at CBC that we don't normally have is a big screen where we can project the programs and the apps that our customers have basically from my little iPhone 12 mini here up onto a giant TV that's turned sideways. So you can
Yes.
kind of see exactly what the experience is like for the guests and what the programs are like that the customer or that the breweries have set up. So I'm looking forward to that. It's always fun. We had some breweries that we work with, some customers last year stop by and we get to take a picture with them and their app up on the big screen, all in
That's
one place. So
fun.
it's kind of a fun way to showcase the success of some of our customers have had over the past year. Looking forward to
It
that for sure.
It is cool, man. I remember seeing your guys' booth last time. I've seen it at other shows too, and it's different when you see it on that big screen. You can really kind of get a vibe for what these systems can do and how beautiful they are. I mean, uh, for that's I'm blown away with what you guys do in that front. It's a nice system. It's clean. It operates fast, and it's very intuitive for what you would want your app to be and not be all these other things that maybe are bloated or whatever the case inside of a system like that. So
Oh,
go check it out and check out that screen because it's nice to see it like that blown up.
thanks, Chris. I appreciate the kind words there.
Hey man,
This is
I
all assuming that I can figure out the logistics of shipping the TV and the stand out there, but we'll get there. We'll make sure that that works.
well,
Uh,
it's live now, so you better figure it out. People have to
yeah, I know we'll
know.
get it. We'll get it for sure. Last year in Vegas, one of the people I work with is out there, so I got to ship it to his house. But this year, I think I think that we'll lean on Dan to help me out with those logistics from the
His
booth.
car is going to be so fun. Like, Dan, you got to pick this up for
Yeah,
me.
you can have a U-Haul full of stuff for sure.
Yes, right on. So thinking about your guys' service and what you guys are doing, I think there's listeners like, well, do I even need an app? What's that? Is it the right fit for me? Who is the right fit for this? Who should show up to your booth and ask questions?
Honestly, breweries that are looking for new revenue streams and programs that bring people back into the tap room. We talked a little bit about maximizing the value of the guest. That's where we can really, I think, help. And like I said, our mission is to kind of make this affordable to the small local businesses who really need it. So we work with everyone and from mom and pop spots up to Trogs and top 25 craft breweries. Those are the people who we want to have the conversations with, and because I think we can add the most value to their businesses. Um, so yeah, that's who we're looking to talk to, and obviously current customers too. I want all our customers to show up too. I want to
Yeah,
say hi.
get that famed photo in front of your super enlarged version of your app.
That's
It's
right. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, man, I think what you guys do, any brewery that can benefit from some sort of membership program, especially if you're doing a mug club now, or you're considering enhancing your mug club, or you're seeing other folks do like these monthly memberships. Man,
Mhm.
and you guys have proven this to me with what you're able to do and the numbers I've seen your guys' customers produce. It's like, man, there's absolutely value in that. If you have any questions about that, that you should
Yeah.
absolutely go talk to Ross because, dude, you got great insight into that whole system and how beneficial it can be for.
Yeah, no, it's been really cool. You know, the I think it was really challenging to run kind of like a monthly program up until I think we kind of came out with this solution, and what we've seen is really exciting in terms of just the programs. You know, we can support annual too, but I'm very excited about the opportunities with breweries off being able to offer monthly programs and what we've seen in terms of the success there. I mean, just one quick number because I don't want to get too far into it, but our average annual membership that we sell through our or that our breweries sell through their apps is $140 a year. The average monthly membership equates out to $240 a year. So you're talking about an extra $100 over the course of a year for a guest that you can get signed up on a monthly versus an annual. So I'm excited about that. If you have any like I love talking about this stuff. So come on over and let's have a conversation.
Absolutely. Kind of opposite side of the coin or parallel question is, strategic partnerships. I think CBC is a great place to forge those kind of relationships too. Kind of, what are they called? There's like the vertical, you know, growth trajectory, horizontal growth opportunities, and I don't know which one this falls into. But are there any strategic relationships aside from just like someone trying to build an app?
Yeah.
That you're looking from a kind of more of a B2B perspective.
Absolutely, Chris. I mean, like you're the kind of person that I want to talk to. I want to make the case, and I think the numbers kind of make the case that a brewery that this is an essential piece of a brewery's plan. Having this app, like if you look at what a brewery needs, they need a website, they need a point of sale, they need some social media accounts, and they need an app. And that's kind of what you need. And I want to make that case, and I want to talk to thought leaders and other marketing people and share the story of what has been able, what the breweries that we work with have been able to do with this over the past year. And I want it to become an industry standard. I think it works that well that I think it should be in every brewery across the nation.
Bold statement. No, I think you're right.
Yeah.
It's a great tool to have in the toolbox, and it's becoming one of those things. I mean, we talk a lot about like the value of owned channels and
Yeah.
how absolutely like it dominates owned the numbers just don't lie. Don't owned versus what I'm kind of starting to call rented spaces
I
like
like it.
social media, advertising channels. Like you're paying to play, and even your organic socials, you're paying to play because you don't get in front of anybody without paid. And those channels are good with for their own reason, right? But you got to understand you're renting that space, you're renting that following. But with owned channels, whether that's your contact list, your app environment, those channels
Yep.
are so valuable. And
Absolutely.
yeah, we were recently having in Kentucky. I just talked about that. We were talking about um, people were asking about how do I get away from Facebook or social media? Like I'm kind of grossed out
Yeah.
by this. What do
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
do? And the answer is you got to invest in owned, and the app is absolutely part of that owned environment. So I agree with you on that for sure.
Yeah.
Right
Yep.
on. Well, Ross, thank you so much for taking part in this. I'm so excited to hang out with you with CBC, and I'm excited for people to connect with you. For those folks that want to connect with you, whether it's before this, before the event, or during the event, or whatever, what is the best way for them to get in touch with you or find out about you?
Yeah, shoot me an email. It's Ross, Ross, at TapWyse, TapWyse.com. I'd love to talk to anyone who's interested in this kind of thing, and very much looking forward to meeting y'all at CBC.
It's going to be so fun, dude. I'm excited to share this space with you. Can't wait to hang out, have some beers, talk to folks, and help breweries grow. That is the best thing we can be doing for folks. And it's going to be fun hanging out in Indy, man.
Absolutely. Looking forward to it, Chris. Thanks.
Cheers, man.